everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the Skaven. Yes, we are back with another of the Warlocks, only this one is the Arch-Warlock. He's the man in charge, or the rat in charge. And Games Workshop have very kindly sent me him early to build up and paint with all of you. So that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. Now, it has been primed in Grey Seer, and the colour we're going to be using first is Sigvald Burgundy. And we'll be applying this over the top of all of our Arch-Warlock's robe. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the armour. So with all of that Black Legion applied, we haven't done every single piece of armour, but we've done most of it. But what we're going to do next is we're going to take some Ratling Grime, and we're going to apply this over top of all of the flesh and fur of our Arch-Warlock. With all that Ratling Grime applied, just whilst we're waiting for it to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Magos Purple and we're going to apply this over the top of the tail. And with that Magos Purple all applied, we're then going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of the fur of the Warlock. But what we're also going to do with the Wyldwood is we're going to apply this over the top of the wood of the spear. With that all done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Warp Lightning. And we're going to apply this over kind of 3 distinct areas. So, the first of these is going to be this piece of Warp Stone, just up here. Like that. And then we're also going to apply this over the top of this ball here. Like so. And we're going to apply it over the top of this ball here as well. And so with that Warp Lightning applied, we're then going to take some Dark Angel's Green and we're going to apply this over top of all of the kind of bendy cabling. Because there's a couple of things that look like cables, but they aren't cables. So you want to go for anything that's, well, bendy. So with that all done, we're going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over top of all the remaining details. Now there are going to be some different metallics, but for now, we're just going to get this all over to act as our base for the other metallics coming up after this. So, with all of that Iron Warriors applied, what we're now going to do is going to take some thinned down Runelord Brass, and we're going to use this to create that second alternative metallic. So, we're going to be applying this over top of areas such as this casing on the claw, like that. We're going to be applying this over top of the venting areas on the mask, like that sort of thing. We're going to be applying it over the top of the large drum pieces on the back. Like that sort of thing. And there's this one as well. And this one as well. We're also going to be applying this over the top of the large drum pieces on the spear as well. And really just anywhere where you want to add a little bit more rare variation, but there is going to be a third metallicing that happens in just a minute. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Gryph-Hound Orange. We're going to use this to create our third metallic. So what we're going to do is over the top of the main drum areas, we're going to apply this like so. But what we're also going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the large drums on the spear as well. So with that all done, we're now going to shade all of those metallics using some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to go over top of the silver, the brass, and the orange. And so with that done, what we're going to do is we're going to take two individual paints. It's not a mix. We're going to take Dark Angel's Green and Lahmian Medium. I'm going to be using this over these two domes, here and here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Dark Angel's Green. We don't actually need very much here. And we're just going to apply this over the top. Just like that. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and grab a little bit of Lahmian Medium. And then we're going to apply this over the top of it. Like that, basically. Wash the brush. And do the same thing again over here on this one. So Dark Angel's Green. Like so. Then we wash the brush. Lahmian Medium now. Here. And there. Like so. And with that done, we've actually got one last base coat that we forgot to do, which is to take some Gore-Grunta Fur. I'm going to apply this over top of the talons and claws of our Arch-Warlock. And so with that done, we've actually got one last shade to apply, which is going to be some Carroburg Crimson. I'm going to use this over the top of the robe. So with that all done, our Arch-Warlock is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. And it's looking pretty cool. However, we are, of course, not going to leave it there. No, we are going to take it to the next level. And we're going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Stormvermin Fur. And we're going to use this to highlight all of our black armor. With all that Stormvermin Fur applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. I'm going to use this to pick out the sharpest corners in all the black. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down pink horror. And we're going to use this to highlight the robe. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Karak Stone. I'm going to use this to highlight a couple of different things. So we're going to use this to highlight our Arch-Warlock skin, like that sort of thing around the ear, and of course the legs and the hands and stuff like that. We're also going to use this to add a little bit of a kind of spot highlighting type thing to the hairs. So we just want to kind of catch the edges, but in that vein, because we originally did those with Wyldwood, what we're also going to be doing is using this Karak Stone to highlight the staff. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. Use this to highlight all the silver. With all that Ironbreaker applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Canoptek Alloy. I'm going to use this to highlight the areas that are still Runelord Brass. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Hashut Copper. I'm going to use this to highlight our orangey metal. So with that done, we're actually very nearly there at the end. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Warp Lightning, and we're going to apply this over the top of the two eye lenses here. On the mask. And so with that then done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Tesseract Glow. I'm going to apply this in quite a few different details. So over the top of the cable, we've got the little gaps in the cable that we want to apply this Tesseract Glow over the top of. Or rather, inside of. Like that sort of thing. Got another one here. And there. Another one around this corner, like that sort of thing. We have our two Warp Lightning balls, where we also want to apply Tesseract Glow, but we will kind of don't want to get it all over. You just kind of want to apply a little bit of it like this in kind of a stippling motion, so that there's a kind of swirliness to it. In the kind of drum stuff, we want to apply this inside areas like this. Like that. There's another one just in here. We're going to apply this over top of the warp stone up here. And so on and so forth. We've got a little nick here in the arm which we want to apply. Just a little bit of Tesseract Glow in. Do the same thing here as well. Like that. So with that all done, it's now time to work on the base because our Arch-Warlock is now finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over top of all the soil. So with all that Cygor Brown applied, we're then going to take some Basilicanum Grey and we're going to apply this over top of the rocks. And with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over the top of the big metal wheel. With all that Iron Warriors applied, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade and we're going to use this to shade all that silver. And once all that Agrax Earthshade is dry, we're then going to take some Tyrant Skull and dry brush the entire base. And so with the base now dry brushed with Tyrant Skull, our Arch-Warlock is now finished. And it's a really nice little model. It's a really cool little glow up for the Arch-Warlock, and I think it looks fantastic. Really simple, really quick to put together, just like all of these smaller Skaven characters, and there's a lot going on here which makes it really interesting to build up and paint with all of you. I'm really enjoying painting Skaven, more so than I thought I ever would do. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/Warhipster. Just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you, I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.